Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning into the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is at Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice to welcome. Happy Thursday. Thirsty Thursdays. Man, it's a little sad. Thursday.
Why?
Because we used to do the show on Thursdays after basketball games until that ended abruptly. I'm still sore about it, bro. I'm still sore about it. So, look, we have a little bit of an extra treat for you. This episode you're about to hear, to put a long story short, basically let Giovanni host the Cuse Militia Podcast. He had an idea. We're going to do a Syracuse Moments show. And then I took over.
Turn it into a bracket.
I turned it into a bracket. So
you just can't let it go.
I can't stop. I figured one more. What is one more, folks?
Well,
this is a Syracuse
We had
one.
a little bit of a break.
Right.
It's a Syracuse one. There's only 16 seeds, so it's a little bit smaller, right? So it's not going to be as big.
It's not going to be as big and long.
So,
and as much
but
work.
I'm sure we're still going to have people complain about the seating and moments we left out for sure.
Oh yeah, I know, but you get to hear it all broke down, and you get to hear everything like you could on the other one. But anyways, we had fun. So we had Giovanni on, we had at Cuse Waterboy Tony on, and we had a good old time. Yeah. Ended up being a really long show. I tried to like edit some of it out, but some of it was just like, oh man, just leave this in here, because I was trying to make a really long show decent, but I just left most of it in there. I'm going to be honest, because it was too hard. It was too hard to take stuff out, to pick and choose. So this show was recorded probably going on 2 weeks ago, but it's still green,
Really?
evergreen. You'll see why, but I hope you enjoy it. I don't want to make things too long. So we actually don't have it. We are sponsor free today. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of nice, but we do have a little bit of news though. Okay. So since I've lived in Virginia Beach, I'm just going to throw this out there, that since I've lived here, there's not been a Syracuse commit from this area. This area has a lot of talent in it too. So Chip West, who is a first-year cornerback coach for the Syracuse Orange football team now, he took charge of recruiting this young linebacker. He's from Hampton, and he coached football here at Old Dominion and Virginia. So Chip West, he recruited 6'1", 215-pound linebacker Anwar Sparrow. He signed the national letter of intent to play Syracuse football for this year, a little bit late, Joe. Yeah. 3-year starter at Salem High over here, and 2-time all-Tidewater selection. Sparrow also was offered by Norfolk State, Appalachian State, Louisville, Wake Forest, East Carolina. They all expressed heavy interest, but they took a hard pass because of his academics, according to his coach. So he was unrated by the composite ranking at 247, but 247.com lists him as a 3-star. He recorded 103 tackles, including 19 for loss, 4 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries in his senior year, Joe. A little small, a little late. What do you make of that?
Oh, that was reported by Syracuse.com, and that's when you get a recruit this late after signing day, it's usually because of academics. Like you said, Louisville, Wake Forest, East Carolina kind of didn't throw the commitments out there because they were worried about the academics. It looks like it was a situation where he probably went to summer school, and I don't know how they really, made it work with this whole COVID thing, but he ended up becoming eligible. And as soon as we figured this out, Chip West, he kind of jumped on that, and
they did a virtual tour.
Right. So, I mean, it's only so much you can do, right? And the kid's obviously, he's not a 2021, it's 2020. So he's got to find a home. And again, 247 Sports had him as a 3-star, and at 6'1", 215, again, probably not a guy that is going to come in and help this year, but he's one of those guys that you could probably play 2 different positions in this 3-3-5, a guy that can maybe do, the strong safety rover position that could come up and play in the box, or, play some downs as a linebacker as well. So he's going to have to probably take a year, get some weight on, stuff like that. 6'1's okay. We've had shorter, and I think Zaire Franklin was 6 foot. So we've had shorter linebackers that have been successful, but he's definitely got to get some weight up unless they're going to, use his speed and keep him around that size and use him in the rover position. But at least there's some options there, and it's not awful grab right here in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, I think they've got Syracuse.com said they've got about 3 scholarships left, 2 or 3, depending. As far as the football team goes, which, anything later than this, I don't know. But, interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
He's a talented kid. He's big out of this area, but...
that area, he, produces good players, and he was a 3-time starter of varsity. So, that's pretty impressive. You never know.
Yeah. And also, this morning, Syracuse picked up another one for 2021. Defensive lineman Jalen Moss. He did the verbal commit thing and did his hashtag juiced up tweet. 6'5", 260 pounds. Got one more year left.
Right.
So,
yeah, well, you never know if he's going to end up being a D end or if he could put some weight on and be a pretty solid, tall defensive tackle. You never really know. But, per Syracuse.com, his only previous offers were Sacred Heart and Stony Brook, which are D1 AA schools. And he's
unrated.
He's unrated. I'm sure he's going to. Usually when these kind of things happen, when it comes to these things, it's just that he just hasn't been rated. It's not that he's a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star. It's just that the recruiting services just haven't gotten around to rating. There's so many kids in high school, right? So Usually that's what happens. And when something like this happens and Syracuse throws out an offer and he takes a verbal commit, then usually that kind of gets those scouting services, gets them notice on these kids. And then usually the scouting services jump on that, scout the kid, and usually he'll get a grade. So I'd probably be willing to bet the kid ends up probably getting a grade, probably a 3-star when it's all said and done. It might take a little while because I know they have their little, I don't know if it's semi-annually or quarterly, but they have different dates where they change the rankings. And I'm sure scouts are going to look into this, and he'll have a star rating at some point here.
Yeah, well, he's got a whole nother year left, obviously. So
right, he's got a whole nother year, and then another thing that we'll tell is whether or not you get these other schools that start looking as well, right? So
right,
and it's important to be able to get these in-state guys that do. We only produce 15 to 20 D1
out of Rochester. We didn't say that out of Rochester.
Yeah, out of Fairport. So New York State only has 15 to 20 D1 recruits a year, and if there's some that can help, we got to try to keep them here, right? So
yeah, definitely. So that is it. We will pull together something with Tyler Morona. So we'll put together a recruiting show with him, and there's still also the Malcolm Folk interview and the Syracuse in the draft show we just did a couple days ago. So if you want to check back on those and listen to those, we'd appreciate that.
Yep.
If not, that's fine. Don't do it. I don't care.
Some people have better things to do. I get it.
And I don't blame them. That's what I'm saying. So, All right. Listen, here it is. It's long. It's fun. Check it out.
Today, we are ranking the top 15 moments in Syracuse sports history since April of 2003. Now, what doesn't count? The 2003 national championship. Everything after that point is what we're going to be ranking today. Top 15 moments. Should be a lot of fun. We're doing football, basketball, and lacrosse.
So I was thinking, right before we came on, we were talking, what were we going to do? What were we going to do? What if we do the top 16 and we seed them and we do one more poll? And we do one more tournament. Just 16.
This seeding is such a brilliant idea by you guys.
Hey, I had nothing to do with this. That's all Sean, awesome. Buddy.
Yeah. Let's do it. And
you want to do it? This will be the selection show.
Let's do it. And this is going to be kind of in tandem with the Cuse Militia podcast. They're going to, put this up on theirs. They'll put it up on Twitter. So this is a little dual collaboration here.
That's legit your real name, Gio Heater.
It is. It's true.
That is amazing.
Aren't his parents brilliant?
Thank you.
There's a reason I go by Waterboy, because I have an Italian name nobody can pronounce.
What is it?
DiNicola.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah.
I thought it was DiNicola too, by the way.
Everybody does. That's why I don't go by it.
Nice.
Tony Waterboy. That's how he is in my phone. So
Perfect. Tony Waterboy. He's just Cuse Waterboy in mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
all right.
Let's hop into it, guys.
Let's do it.
So we have all kind of put together our own little mess of moments, and we're pretty much just going to debate here, which will be the fun part of it, and try and rank these bad boys. And as Sean said, we're going to seed them out. So now it's top 16, so that's going to be a lot of fun. How about everybody throw out one moment right now, and we'll talk about it. So we'll start with Anthony.
All right, I'm going to go with one I was at live. John Gillen, the game-winning shot against Duke.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
That's one of my favorite.
All four of us would have talked about that one. What about you, Sean?
I would have to go with the best shot to not ever count. And you had the man on the show earlier, and the best shot made that didn't count, where Devo jumped on the tables after he thought he hit the game winner, ended up being the 6 overtime game. And, I mean, that's one of the most iconic moments. And the shot didn't even count. Devo standing on the table with his chest puffed out. Oh, and his head up. Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Absolutely. Joe, what about you?
Are we trying to pick one that's like our favorite? Is that what's
We're just
going on
picking
here?
one. Just throw one out, Joe. He's so black or white, this guy. You just gotta guide him. You gotta walk him down the path.
Just so people know, this whole thing was thought up like really off the top of the head. So we basically are winging it here, people.
Pretty much.
We're winging it.
I do want to add something that was not on this list it's not going to be my pick, but going on Gillen's buzzer beater, I was live at the game where Gillen had like 40 plus and we came back and beat NC State at NC State
in overtime, right?
Overtime.
That was awesome.
That was a great game, but I'd have to go probably same thing my boy Joey Crawford said on Facebook, that Virginia Elite 8 comeback. I mean, to me that was, I remember at halftime thinking like, well, it's a good run. They beat Gonzaga, good game. And we came back, and that was probably one of the ones that, between that and the Clemson W for football, those two were close for me.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to go a little bit more, maybe something people didn't necessarily have in mind. It's kind of not exactly a specific moment, because to say the moment, you would kind of have to say beating NC State in the Dome, a ranked team at the time, but just Syracuse football being ranked for the first time in 17 years. I think that was – I remember waking up that day, just waiting for them to come out with the AP poll, kept refreshing Twitter, and it finally came out. That was probably my most exciting moment besides like that Virginia game and beating Clemson was the fact that we were ranked in football.
Wasn't that the first time they were ranked since you were born?
Yeah, first time since I was on the earth. Crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy too, is your perspective of it, because like I was born in '85. I'm 34. Like I remember the *90s and how SU
Donovan McNabb
ranked, winning Big East titles, going toe to toe with Virginia Tech, with Vic and Miami. Like it had been so long, but for you, it's like you hadn't known in your entire life.
Yeah. It's that's why the 2018 season was so special, because it was the first time. I mean, I got a little taste of it. I was kind of too young to really realize it when we had, Ryan Nassib and Doug Marrone and Alec Lemon and that whole squad. So 2018 was my real taste of a good Syracuse football team, and that's probably why Eric Dungey's my favorite Syracuse player of all time. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do we got
that
the flying knee too? The flying knee was another great moment.
Oh, Miami, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just that game.
Yeah, the game.
It was
It was
such a
incredible.
A
That's
couple
the game
flying
where
knees.
He threw a pick against Miami
And
then
took
he
it back.
ran the ball away from the guy.
Imagine if we had won
does
that
that?
game.
Eric Dungey.
That was the week after we beat Clemson inside the Dome. Imagine winning that game, beating two top 10 teams 2 weeks in a row. Miami was ranked number 8 in that game. Just kind of what could have been. And we almost did come back and win that game after a bad first half.
He played with something broken or something too in that game, I want to say. Wasn't that the game where he played with something broken?
He's an animal. Yeah.
Is that of the Florida State game?
Oh, yeah, it was one or the other. Which one was it, Anthony? Come on.
Oh God, my memory sucks.
He finished the game, though. I think it was Miami. I think it was because he went out of the game and came back in and ended up something was broken. I'm almost positive.
Well, that's why I'm a warrior. Like I've always said, man, like it's cool to have super talented guys, but it's those guys that'll give you everything and like play above like their rating. Everybody goes by like stars and everything, but like I want the guy that'll give you everything. I'll take that over a 5-star guy any day.
Yeah, the amount of fight in Eric Dungy is second to none.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into this. How do we want to organize this, Sean? Since you're the one that brought up the seeding, I plan on just a list. So you gotta walk us through how we're gonna seed this.
Okay, so it's very hard to seed something like this because, as with everything, as I've found out, it's all opinion based, and so someone's gonna be angry. But I say the four that we mentioned should be in the top 5. Those are the ones we came off with the top of our head. So, like, I agree with Tony. I think the Gillen buzzer beater against Duke, that was so beautiful. I mean, it sucks to start with 1, but we could start with 1 and then go 16 back. But let's establish a 1 seed. So, I mean, I would vote for that. But if someone else has got something, throw it out there and we can talk about it real quick.
Okay. That's a solid 1 seed. The problem for me is, as amazing as it was being in a highly packed Carrier Dome, it was weird too. It was on a Monday night, not a Saturday game, so it wasn't one of the sold out games. But the thing is it didn't take us anywhere. Yeah, we had beat 4 teams that were in the top 10 that season: Virginia, Florida State, Duke, or maybe it was just 3. But anyways, we never made the NCAA tournament. We were an NIT team that year, so I almost feel more inclined to pick that Syracuse versus Virginia to get us to the Final Four. That comeback in the last 6 minutes, that was crazy. I feel like that's more up there. But let's take a vote. What do you think, Joe?
Again, my top 2 would probably be beating Clemson in the Dome for football, and that comeback against Virginia would probably be the top 2.
Those are my top 2 as well.
That leaves you.
I feel like we got to throw in the Tyler Ennis against Pitt shot too, because that was just
again, because that was the whole length of the court. Well, how much time was that? 3 seconds.
Yeah,
and it was the whole length of the court.
1.4,
and he had great form with it. Like, it was a great jumper.
I mean, that
shot was incredible. I had to wake up at 3 a.m. for work, and I didn't sleep.
I know you're
work screaming like, Ennis hit it. He hit the shot. I'm watching it 30 times in a row. I just went off pure adrenaline that day. That was insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. I would say UVA or that.
Or that football, because
I know.
What really made Dino I think you got to go football.
No, the Virginia Tech's what made Babers go kind of viral, though.
It's
the year
true.
Before.
It's true. But that was the first time packed Carrier Dome, kind of like when he said, close your eyes, imagine this.
Yeah.
That was kind of his first. That was really what put us on the map. But then again, you went and won 4 games that season. So
right.
Yeah, I think that was their last win that year, too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we revisit the 1 seed? And let's.
Okay, go ahead. All right, fine. That sounds about right.
We'll start at 16. I got to put in here somewhere along the lines. I have to put the 2008, 2009 back-to-back Syracuse lacrosse national champions.
Yeah.
And the 2009 game was crazy. They played Cornell, an in-state rival. You're down by 3 goals with 5 minutes left in the game, and they rally back. A crazy play on a ride. They strip them behind the back passes, everything. Kenny Nims right on the crease puts it in with 3 seconds left to go into overtime. And then Dan Hardy to Cody Jamieson on the crease, overtime winner, 2009 national champs back-to-back. So I got to put that in here somewhere. Is it the 16 seed because it's lacrosse? I'm okay with that.
No way. Back-to-back championships?
All right.
It's got to be higher than a 16, right? You would think, right?
What's Joe taking pictures of us?
I'm so mad, too, that we lost out on lacrosse this year, getting off to that hot start. And I said before the season, I'm not a lacrosse guy, but I was like, this is the year.
I know.
People on Twitter, they're like, hey, Waterboy, come sit with me. I'll explain the game to you. I was like, this is the year I'm going to get into it. And then freaking Corona.
Yeah.
Freaking Corona.
I've been going to the lacrosse games probably longer than anything else, just because the crowds weren't as big when I was little, and I've always played lacrosse.
Giovanni a goalie, by the way, right?
It's true. I'm bummed. I'm missing my junior season at CNS right now.
You ever take it the length of the field and just jog it down there
and score? Yeah. I've done that before.
Awesome.
And then I did it another time too. And our JV coach is the scariest coach in the world. And I went down and I rifled it, and I hit the goalie right in the face. And my coach got so ticked because he's like, "You went down, and then you didn't score."
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, Gio, you got to put it in the net.
I was this close. I drilled the kid in the face, but it didn't.
Fair enough. It's almost a wash.
Yeah, exactly.
In the face.
All right. So let's spit out some ideas. Okay, so I got, some of the lower quality moments. Beating Gonzaga the game before the Virginia game. A lot of people had that on Twitter. That's why I'm going to mention it with Tyler Lydon's block.
That often gets forgotten, too, because of the crazy comeback against Virginia.
Right.
I remember that whole weekend so well. The Gonzaga game at Coleman's, the Virginia game at now defunct Rosie's. Like, just pure madness watching the people.
While we're doing it, I'm going to actually hop on Twitter, and I'm going to list off what the people had to say. I put it out. You guys retweeted it. So we had some decent responses. Let's see. People wanted Lydon's block, as I just said. Ennis's shot, of course.
Oh, you sent a list too.
Hakeem's block, but
the Texas teabag.
That doesn't count
either,
though.
I know.
I wish. That was in the Texas game, the semifinal. But
the most athletic play in Syracuse history.
Yeah.
What about the Johnny Flynn teabag?
Yeah, I have that on here. Against Rutgers.
Is that Rutgers?
Yeah, I have it on here.
Oh, okay. Got to put a teabag on here, right?
People put the Gillen and the Andrew White
year.
Basically, it said saving Cuse's season. I don't really know what that means, and I don't think that
they didn't save. They didn't really save anything, but it was fun to watch.
We didn't even make it to the NCAA tournament,
and we lost the first game of the NIT.
Right, I was at that game. It was sick because they had discounted tickets, so I was sitting courtside.
That's awesome.
The tickets were so cheap because nobody wanted to go. Yeah, but
that's why it's fun to go to the women's games, man. You can sit anywhere.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah,
you can make noise, and they hear you. Like counting down the shot clock, like 3 seconds quicker than it goes down. Like we cause some legit violations.
It makes it easy.
Awesome.
It makes it easier when they're pretty good too, right?
Yeah.
Somebody put in here beating Wisconsin in the Sweet 16 in 2012, and while we're on that, I kind of want to touch upon the 2011-2012 season. People, I think, kind of forget about it because of the scandals that happened
the violations,
and everything. But, I mean, seriously, 30-1.
Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it?
You lost one game the entire season. I think it was on the road to Notre Dame. Number one in the country for most of the year and outright Big East champs, regular season champs. I mean, that's a historical season. That's got to be in here somewhere.
Well, that's the season, too, where Fab Mello was ineligible, wasn't it?
That and the Bernie Fine situation.
That one's tough because when you look at that season, you look more of like, because you said 30-1, that ended up being more in disappointment than, I sometimes when you look at the season's expectations, right? I mean, you look back to that season and can you really point to one really good thing other than they were really good? And it just ended up being a disappointing season that ended in us losing possibly our best big man coach in Boeheim's tenure and then us falling into sanctions. So to me, that's tough to look and think positive, even though it was 30-1 and it was a great season.
I
just a different way of looking at it.
But I just saw one on your list, Gio, that you sent. That's pretty good. First of all, Jerry Mack beating Georgetown.
Yeah. I love the commentator in that. Jerry Mack drops one on G-Town.
Yeah,
that's an iconic.
I think that whole run.
Yeah, that whole run. That was Big East.
That's a different one, though, because the one where he said that was at Georgetown in a regular season game. And then I also have on the list Jerry McNamara in the 2006, and that's the whole run in the Big East tournament.
The Cincinnati game. Well, and then he had a game winner in January of 03 or 04, I think, against Notre Dame. And we rushed forward for that one. That was nuts.
You had the
buzzer beater against Connecticut. I think that was in the 2006 as well.
God, how clutch was G-Mac? Oh my God!
I mean, he was. How about Tyus? I thought you had him on here. He beat Georgetown, but he had another buzzer beater besides Georgetown.
The Clemson game.
Yeah, the Clemson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
3 from the corner.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if that's top 15. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. We just got a notification running out of time. We've removed the 40-minute limit on your group meeting. Love it. Awesome. Thank you.
We appreciate that, Zoom. This episode brought to you by Zoom.
Yeah, seriously. They gifted us.
Yo, you know who wants to put out like a mafia-style hit on Zoom right now is Skype. Like, what happened to Skype?
We use Skype for the show, and it works flawless for us, but you don't get this format. Like, there's not as many options on it. I'm noticing.
But it just feels like Zoom's the big thing now, and like
it is.
like forgotten about.
But that's because Zoom, you can do stuff like school-based, where you can have a ton of people all at once.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I was on a Zoom meeting for SU Newhouse or whatever, and just like looking at the school, basically like a campus tour, but they can't do that right now. So
virtual
they're doing
tour
stuff online, and there was like 300 people in it, people from all across the country. So they can like have a larger capacity in these things.
Dude, Gio, if you're not a future game day host, then I don't know what SU's thinking. My God,
That's the goal. That's the goal.
You got
all right.
Goals.
We got we have some moments.
Are you writing these? Are you writing these down as we?
We have the list, but we got to start seeding. We need specific seeds.
We need a 16, and we need to go from there.
We need a 16. Okay.
We need to mark the 16, and then
we have.
And let's be honest,
to get to the Final Four.
And let's be honest,
13.
People are gonna complain about this, and we're gonna leave some.
But that's the fun part about it. That's the fun part about it.
Okay.
Well, and plus it was Sean's idea.
I don't care.
It was Sean's idea, so we can always just blame it on him.
True.
That's just
true story.
All right, the 6 overtime, but that's going to be higher.
The 6 overtime is separate from the Devo shot, though, right?
Is it though? Because that's
same game.
It's the same.
I
game.
understand that, but I'm talking about that iconic moment. I say we use. Well, sheesh, you got to have.
I feel like they're the same thing though, because the shot goes in that.
Fair enough.
Whole essence of the game.
Fair enough. I lose.
We love you, Sean.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
Yourself, Gio.
I mean,
we got. We have. Do we put anything Doug Marone? We have.
No.
Have you seen
Pinstripe Bowl? The Snow Bowl?
Yeah, we have the Texas Bowl, both Pinstripe Bowls.
The Snow Bowl was a good one, but I mean, it's only because of the snow.
Yeah, this could be a solid 16 seed. Syracuse as an 11 seed takes down 3rd seed Michigan State in 2018.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a 16 seed to you?
That's good.
Yeah?
That's good.
Right.
Put it down. We gotta make some moves here.
We're doing anything
this is gonna
2013?
2013, yeah, we got the
Isn't that the year that both the Syracuse women's and men's
made it to the Final Four?
No, that was 2016.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 2013, I wrote beating Marquette to get to the Final Four. Even though the game wasn't anything special, you won the region to get to the Final Four. So just I guess we could just put 2013 Final Four. That could be a 15.
Let's just put the back-to-back lacrosse championships should be somewhere around like
1 or 15.
7 or 10. 7 to 10, somewhere in there. It should be right in the middle.
We put him at 14. I mean, we saw with the Beatles, a 14 seed can win the whole thing.
Listen, that was a fluke. That was a fluke.
Great.
Well, listen.
You guys wanted him out of the tournament. Yeah, they wanted him out of the tournament, Waterboy. All of them, all three.
Ridiculous. Know your history. I'll get my fiance down here to just rip you.
Listen. That whole poll was fan based. The Beatles didn't even make it. We decided to put him. No, they didn't. Yeah. I'm looking down here at Joe. The Beatles.
Anybody can go back to the show. They had like the 5th most votes, and you, James, and Tyler wanted them out of the seating, out of the bracket.
No, they didn't.
I'm pretty sure if you go back, I'm the one that came back and said that the fans would kill us if you
this isn't the Music Madness show. Congrats to the Beatles. They did a great job.
It is. That was on, for those of you that don't know, that was on the Cuse Militia podcast. They did a Music Madness.
No more non-Syracuse related stuff. It just riles too many people up.
That's true. All right. Now we need a 15 seed. On here, I have the ACC tournament win against North Carolina just a couple weeks ago. I don't think that really applies.
I don't know if it doesn't. That was an awesome game.
It was, but...
It was an awesome game, but all these other ones up against it, that might be a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's more recency bias.
What about Andrew White's 40 points against Wake Forest on senior day? Or was that senior day?
I thought it was at NC State.
Andrew,
and I thought it was Gillen.
That was Gillen was 43 at NC State in overtime.
Yeah.
Andrew White was 40 against Georgia Tech.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I don't remember that.
No.
Yeah.
I thought we agreed to forget about that season.
Yeah, that season was.
I mean, there were some good games. Don't get me wrong.
I like that. 15, Gillen, 43 points. I love it because he hit a buzzer beater or with like a second left too to send it to overtime.
Well, we're putting the Duke buzzer beater in there. I mean, that was the same year.
Yeah.
So
he could be on there twice. 2 buzzer beaters, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah, you got to put it in there.
That game was awesome. I just remember NC State like these students came up and sat behind us, and they weren't sitting there in the first half. Sitting right behind me in the second half, talking about quantum physics as they're beating us by 18. Okay. Drove me insane, and there's so much room for them to go anywhere else. And then Gillen just went on a roll, and I started cheering, and they got so loud that they couldn't speak to each other.
Nice.
And then they ended up moving, and then we ended up winning. So it was great.
All right, I'm putting it 15 seed, Gillen 43. Boom.
Perfect.
Sean's right. We got to make moves, or this is going to be 6 hours long, and nobody's going to last till the end.
Seriously. Seriously.
All right.
I doubt it, Tony.
I highly doubt it as well. We're not that in it. We entertain ourselves.
How about Coach Babers getting hired as the first black head coach? But this guy has come in here and just the charisma and the energy and everything and all the moments that we've had with him, like, just seems like just that alone. The point of Babers just being in there alone.
14 seed right there.
Okay.
Babers hire.
So
Babers hire.
There you go. Who want all this stuff now? Like, we got to get better recruits for football. We got to win now. I'm like, do you realize the sheer hole? We were in just the deepest pit of the earth from the G-Rob era. Like, how we were on the bottom 10 of ESPN year after year. Like, our football program was hot garbage. Like, have you ever seen what was done to drag him back out has been amazing.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that special that you can find on YouTube, but it was on College Game Day one week, and Jim Brown even talked about how bad the football was in the Greg Robinson era, and it was right in the middle of the Greg Robinson era. It was like right after we had lost to Akron, and it's College Game Day, and all the guys, Kurt Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, they're all like, the great Jim Brown has spoken. Syracuse needs to make some changes.
Yeah, Jim Brown has 0 Fs to give.
Yeah. And Corso, he called out the what was the athletic director that we got
Daryl Gross.
Yeah, he called him out bad.
Yeah.
Let's give away our home games to the Meadowlands. That was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, for money to get whooped against Notre Dame.
All right, so now we need a 13 seed. I feel like it's only fitting to put 13 seed making the Final Four in 2013.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Right. And it doesn't rank any higher than that because we lost in the Final Four and there was nothing. We were supposed to go to the Final Four. We were like a 2 seed or a 3 seed, so we were pretty good. Now we need a 12. We got the comeback overtime win at Georgetown in 2017. I don't know if that's worthy. Somewhere in the top 10 has to be that 2013 Big East semifinal against Georgetown. That was the last game that the two ever faced off in the Big East Conference. And that's that. If you've ever seen that Requiem highlighted game that goes throughout that 30 for 30, I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's required viewing.
Of course. I don't know. Sean's looking at me like he's never seen it before.
I don't know if I don't even know what you're talking about. Requiem.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you go watch it. See ya.
It's good. It's good. You got to watch it. All right. So, but that's more of a top 10. Let's do number 12. Let's do that national championship for Cuse.
The lacrosse?
Yeah.
Okay, you broke up.
Back-to-back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to piss off some lacrosse fans. And, man, I wish I knew more about it. I'm fully invested in learning.
I mean, it was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But as far as voting, not a lot of guys are going to – actually, you're right. Let's save it and put it higher. Otherwise, when we vote this bad boy out, they're going to lose to something like a GMAC buzzer beater in the top portion of it.
Oh, wow. That's rigging, Gio.
I watched that Cornell game. That Cornell game was awesome.
It was amazing.
Like that last play to tie it with seconds left was just ridiculous.
The crazy, if you guys haven't seen that, go YouTube it. Anybody watching, because it's well worth the watch. And it's the first thing you can find if you look up Syracuse Lacrosse National Championship. But we still need a 12 seed. We got 10-win season, Camping World Bowl champs. That could be. I mean, a 10-win season was a big deal. I don't know if it ranks higher.
I think that's solid because, I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I went down to that game, and, man, I had the time of my life in Orlando.
Joe was there.
I was there, too.
Oh, my God. Did you go downtown to the bars, just bar hopping?
The morning of. I was down there at, like, noon.
Yeah, I went down to, I think, at, like, 1 or 2, and I remember just going into different bars, and it was just pure orange, like 40, 50 of us. And then like 5 or 6 West Virginia fans would come in, and we just boo them out of the bar. We
were down at the soccer team's bar that was right next to the train, and it was just funny. It was just funny because all this. It was like you'd walk down the road, and you'd look to the left, and there'd be a bar with just the Syracuse fans, and you look to the right across the street, and that's where the West Virginia fans went. It's like you'd look, see, yellow this way, orange this way.
Yeah. It was like that imaginary line. That game was so much fun, though, man. Like, I met so many people I talked to off Twitter, like, made, like, face-to-face friends, like Jonathan, Lisa, other people. Like, it was such a long time coming.
Had great seats.
Joe was on ESPN in that game. Remember that really horrible missed call? Was it a missed call or was it a call? Was it roughing the passer on Eric Dungy?
They came in and hit Taj Harris late.
Yeah.
It was Taj Harris. That's right.
Targeting.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Joe's on camera in the crowd. I got still shots of this. It's so good.
I was a little tipsy.
Nice.
Hey, it couldn't be any worse than the guy who puked 3 rows behind me, and it just started coming down like a tidal wave.
You have to lift your feet.
Dude, they had a janitor come over and like almost like in grade school throw that like pink dust stuff.
Yeah. Sweep it up.
Awful.
Excuse me, folks, coming through.
Yeah, I was wearing flip flops too. That didn't help.
All right, I put at the 10 seed. I put the Cuse football 10-win season, but we still need an 11 because I just figured 10 match 10. We could where
does the Johnny Flynn teabag rank around there?
Let's do it. 11. Johnny Flynn posterizer.
Oh, yeah, this is so tough. There's so many good moments.
I feel because like I think that was when we realized Johnny Flynn could dunk. Was it not? Yeah. So I mean, it was a big moment for me. I remember, and then they got teed. Didn't someone get teed up? The Rutgers coach got teed up.
I don't really remember.
There was some controversy because it was like this close to being a charge. In fact, it could have been.
Yeah, because that was before they had the cylinder under the basket.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and he would have been in the cylinder, by the way, but I think he was low enough down there. But that there was
such an electric dunk, man. People forget.
Oh yeah, and that was at Rutgers too, right?
Yeah,
it was.
And it was loud.
They played us tough too at Rutgers.
Yeah, I think that needs to be. Should it be a 10? It's 10. Let's just leave it there. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's an 11. 10's the 10-win season.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So then, if we got 11, that 10 is the. Wait. What? Okay. No. I lied. 10-win season's 11, and the Johnny Flynn's 12.
Look at this guy.
I know. I'm a mess.
No, this other guy, Gio. This guy down here.
No. We're not sponsored.
Sorry.
No, seriously, was that Michelob?
Yeah, it's a Mick Ultra.
Oh, I get it. He's trying to cut down on that quarantine 19.
Yeah, old Joe's got to keep his figure, you know.
Yeah, that's not happening here. I'm going full dad bod. I don't even have kids.
Joe's fit, but he doesn't have to work for it. He eats like crap. He drinks beer all day.
Be nice.
I know, that's what I said.
Jeez.
Yeah, it'll hit him someday. He doesn't have any hair though, so I mean, it's kind of a.
Yeah, I really don't either.
I know you're working towards that. I know. Gio with the trophy head of hair right there. Yeah.
So I have Doug Marrone, but you can't put Doug Marrone above a 10-win season. So I feel like Doug Marrone's off the list.
Yeah, he's off. I'm fine with
from
that.
The Doug. Okay.
He can go find another dream job.
Yeah. How about Doug Marrone to the Bills? How about that? We put that somewhere.
We could put next.
No.
We could do. I feel like somewhere in here has to be like the GMAC buzzer beater at Georgetown, the classic call.
Okay. I mean, where are we? 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
10. We're at 10.
I think that needs to be higher than 10 in my opinion.
Okay. So what can we put here?
Oh, I see one that you've got down here. 10 effing games. Boeheim, the press conference.
Yeah, the press conference. Jerry McNamara overrated.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So GMAC overrated press conference.
So good. It still gives me goosebumps, that press conference.
It's so good. Yeah.
Is that something that we can couple with just that whole run, or is that the run going to be itself?
I feel like the press conference
itself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you could separate because that press conference is like very specific. But
because then they came out with the shirts, right? It was the overrated shirts.
Yeah. And then
shirt in Syracuse.
Holy shirt, yeah, right?
Yeah. And then Boeheim's like, I'm probably gonna get fined for this.
Yeah.
Like right at the end of the press conference.
Boeheim's press conferences they're not electric, but he has some of the best moments.
I agree.
Yeah. Those short little quip, those one-liners.
When he rips into someone, and it just is so good. He's so
a curmudgeon, man. He reminds me so much of my late grandfather. That's why I love him. Like, I can't wait to be the old guy on my porch in my underwear just yelling at people.
I know.
He doesn't care. I respect it.
He doesn't. It's awesome. He does not care.
Have you ever seen him get into it with that microphone? It's on YouTube.
Yes. He bends it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he picks it back up. Yeah. That's funny.
I just don't think he ever wants to be there, but he has.
No, he doesn't.
No,
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does it, and sometimes he just bloviates. He just goes on and on and on, and then he'll just pick on like Mike Waters randomly, or he's ripped a couple ESPN guys a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, the one time I saw him happy was that 2003 national championship watch party they did recently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in his moment.
He seemed actually content, but he was also at his house, and it wasn't the same kind of setup. So.
Yeah.
That's what for that basketball they're doing next weekend from their house, like all the little secret things they have planned. I think we'll see a side of Boeheim we usually don't see.
What's that? What do you? I don't know what you're talking about.
So at the end of every season they do a basketball charity for the Jimmy.
The basketball.
The Turning Stone, but can't do it this year, so they're doing it at their house.
We all get to watch.
That's cool. What happened?
It went quiet. I don't know. Everybody stopped talking.
That happened in your episode too. We were all laughing, and then we all stopped laughing, and then nobody said anything.
Oh,
and then we all started laughing again.
Joe, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, do you ever watch his press conferences and wonder if he's ever going to let a reporter finish their question? It's like he can't possibly know exactly every question before it finishes. You know what I mean? It's just one of those.
He just knows what answer he wants to give. That's it. Yeah. It's beautiful.
He's forgotten more about basketball than we'll ever learn. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
he's
also,
a goat. Doesn't 100% answer the question the exact way that it's asked. He spins it his own way a little bit.
No, and if it's a bit snarky or dumb, if you ask a dumb question,
God, you're getting eviscerated.
You are getting killed.
Have you seen the one where he's like, I don't remember exactly what happened, but he's like, you're not allowed to ask me any more questions, or come to me when you have a good question. And he basically called this guy stupid, some reporter.
It's like the equivalent of telling someone to go sit at the kids' table after they finally graduate to the adult table. Now in the corner.
Basically, yeah.
And you can tell the reporters are onto it because there's sometimes after some games he comes in certain moods and they're just afraid to even ask a question. He's in there for 3.5 minutes and he's like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
And he ends it himself. He says bye. Yeah. And he just gets up and leaves. All right. So we got
where are we at, Gio?
Yeah, so we got a 10 seed, and it's that GMAC overrated press conference. So we're inside the top 10. We're at 9 now.
We need
to put some stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
So
we need a good 8-9 matchup, one that'll be really close.
That's true. See, we got to be a little bit strategic about this one, and then we can kind of go. But you're right, Tony.
That's a good point. But what you're gonna hate me for this one, Tony? But I think that Ennis is lower than some of the. I think we should do a buzzer beater versus a buzzer beater.
That's a good idea.
Gillen versus Ennis.
Gillen beats Duke buzzer beater versus Ennis?
Yeah. Because we already have the.
I like it, man. That's 2 buzzer beaters against each other. They're both huge.
That's a good 8-9.
All right, let's do it.
And neither one of them, I mean, the one kept us alive 20-0, yeah, but the Gillen one never took us anywhere.
Yeah, neither season ended the way we wanted, which it's like it's an argument now on Twitter that I think like Brian Harrison puts out all the time. Like, do you want to be super successful in the regular season and win these conference games, or go deep in the tournament? Rather go deep in the tournament.
Right. So
25-0 means nothing if you flame out in the second round.
And that seems to happen. The higher ranked we are, we seem to do worse.
Yeah, we're always better when we're underseeded. We get this fight in us. We're better as a 10 or 11 than we are as a 1 or a 2.
Sweet 16 as an 11, Final Four as a 10. So
yeah.
It's funny you say that too, because down here in North Carolina, you talk to Duke or North Carolina fans, and they would rather beat each other the times that they play and not make the tournament. Like, that's more important than making the tournament. And it's funny that you said that, Tony, because it's like I'm the same exact way. Like, that Gillen buzzer beater was great, but we didn't really do anything. So, but it's funny because some fans, and the rivalry is so deep that they only care about that game, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But
that's what sucks about the move to the ACC. We really don't have a true rival. Like, the Duke game is huge, but let's be honest, we're not Duke's rival.
No.
All right, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I wasn't really around for this whole Georgetown thing. Like, I didn't start seriously
I get it, man. I was around for the tail end of it.
Yeah, but
UConn to me was a bigger rival than Georgetown as far as being a '90s kid.
Right.
I just it was Georgetown for me. But I hear you, Anthony. UConn was brutal too sometimes.
Dude, I hate UConn. Rip Hamilton, I hate that guy.
I mean, there were some. I couldn't stand St. John's. I can't believe how much I hated St. John's back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the first year that I specifically started paying attention was 2013 when I was in 4th grade, and that was the last year in the Big East. So to me, I honestly hate Duke more than I hate Georgetown, just because I wasn't around to see it. And now I've seen Duke have this success in the sold-out Carrier Domes. So to me, my rivalry for my generation is the Duke game.
Well, let me ask you then. So you think Duke would be the rival for Syracuse?
No. Historically, it's Georgetown. But I'm just saying my generation, as the younger generation of fans, that's all we've seen. So, you can go back on YouTube and watch the games, which I have. I've watched almost all of them, going all the way back to the Pearl versus Ewing and the orange on the backboard, and John Thompson going nuts. But it just didn't feel the same. You weren't watching it live. You weren't living it. You weren't going to school the next morning, people talking about it. You didn't have that same buzz as you do now I experience with the Duke game. So, to me, my rival's Duke.
I hear you. I could totally see that. I wouldn't disagree with you at all.
It's all about perspective. When did you grow up? I was a 90s kid, so it's the 96 run was amazing to me. It's my all-time favorite. It's what are those first strong moments you remember and just stick with you forever?
I mean,
John Wallace. That shot against Georgia should be in here, but it's way before.
Yeah.
Oh, if we did, pre-2003, we'd have a full 64 team tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could actually we should do that.
Oh, God.
I'll let you run it, Gio.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I got free time.
Seriously.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just like me and Sean had said before when we spoke about this, I said, I mean, I think that Duke could possibly be our ACC rival, and the good thing about that is that we're never going to be Duke's rival. So it's one of those things.
We were though.
Yeah, but it could work in our favor because Duke's always going to worry about North Carolina more than us, and we worry about Duke more than anybody else. So, sometimes that can work in our favor. But Duke is never going to look at us as their number one rival. And
what really hurt us was Jamie Dixon leaving Pitt for TCU. If Jamie Dixon is still at Pitt, that's our rival. They were our rival for a long time. We would have a true ACC rival, but now we don't.
Well,
actually,
he knew how to beat us, man.
This year.
Go ahead, John.
No, go ahead, buddy.
In my interview with Eric, he said the toughest place to play was actually the Oakland Zoo at Pitt. And you wouldn't even think that.
I would, though, because they're right on the court. Joe and I, we've talked about that. They line the whole sideline with the students, and I don't understand. Yeah, like Duke does. It's a kind of a smaller venue. And those kids get rowdy. It's just the past couple of years where they really haven't done a ton.
Right.
But this year, Joe and I talked a lot about the Syracuse Notre Dame games. Those were a couple brutal games. They were really good too.
Yeah,
and they were getting chippy.
Crazy dunking net as well.
Oh, I remember that. I was at that game.
They were getting chippy this year too, so that was fun to watch. But anyway, we're going this way again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we need a 9 seed. Oh wait. So we have our 8-9.
Yeah.
The Gillen buzzer beater and the Ennis. But which one do we put as the 8 and which one do we put as the 9?
I don't know if it matters.
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gillen's gonna be the 8 because I feel like that was cooler in front of a home crowd. So,
there you go.
Gillen, Duke, and then we got Ennis Pitt. Okay. So your 9 is your Ennis Pitt. Your 8 is the Gillen Duke. Now we need a 7. And we're starting to get into the good stuff here. Tough. Would you put the 6 overtime this low?
I wouldn't.
No.
No.
Okay, so how about something like... Are we going to include the Sweet 16 comeback against Gonzaga? Or is that going to be overshot by the Virginia win?
No, it's definitely going to be overshot by the...
Yeah.
I mean, Virginia's above that, I believe.
Yeah, that's...
it's way above it.
No, he's
But
saying
it's
he's saying they were back to back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same weekend.
Right. What about and we lost this game, but what about the charge? They called the charge on CJ Fair against Rodney Hood.
See, it's funny you bring that up. Hang on. Even if we don't put that game, that's a moment. It has to be.
You mean that game?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay,
the ejection. Yeah.
Segway charge / ejection. Sean, are you putting this up on your Twitter today, buddy?
I will.
All right, sounds good. And then 6. I feel like 6. We gotta go.
6 overtime.
6 overtime. Let's do that.
But where do we have to put the overtime win in 2014? That's got to be up there because that was the first Duke game. That was the sellout. That was college game day. That was the buzzer beater to go into overtime by Duke. Rashid Suleiman. That was everything.
Yeah, that was a good game. It needs to be in there.
That made us number 1 in the country as well.
That's right.
So I feel like that's got to be in there.
So much fun to be
So
at.
put that at 6, and we'll put. What's that, Tony?
I said that game was so much fun to be at. You cannot hear the person next to you.
That's awesome. I wish.
That was the
fortunate
first
to be at
sellout.
so many of these games.
I watched that game at a Smoky Bones.
Really?
Yeah, there's a ton of Duke fans there too. As I was in Virginia Beach, there's a lot of Duke fans here.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you guys aren't in Syracuse.
See, it's funny. You guys have mentioned on Cuse Militia many times how it sucks you're down south. You don't get to go to as many games as you want. But I'm envious that you get to go to away games because I feel like I would be in my element there. Just total pro wrestling heel. I will be the most hated man in that building.
Yeah.
I need to get to a North Carolina game and just raise hell.
Now we should plan something like that.
I'm down. I want to get walked out in handcuffs. I'm not even kidding.
I'll film it.
Nuts.
I went down to Maryland last year and we got killed. So
I remember that.
It was fun getting chirped at.
Yeah.
After. But just SU showed up big. There were a lot of Orange fans there. That was because the expectations were so high, and that was the closest road game.
That was when our dreams were crushed. That game.
Was when our dreams were. Oh yeah, I remember sitting in the stands, and I was like,
although
cry.
Liberty,
I don't know what this feeling is. I feel so disappointed.
The Liberty game didn't show much promise, but that game solidified it.
Yeah,
I went to the Duke game.
The friggin' coach up in the hospital bed.
Oh my gosh, what was he doing up there? Get this guy out of there. Close the curtain.
Guys, you know what we forgot? I just realized we forgot it. Is beating number 1 Duke on the road last year. Is that eligible?
Oh, yeah, the Elijah Hughes full court shot before halftime.
I mean, you beat him.
Was that Hughes or Brissett?
That was
Hughes.
It was, okay.
And that game,
they posted a shot chart, and there was one orange dot all the way across the court. It was just amazing.
That's awesome.
And that game got us into the NCAA tournament. What were we, a 9 seed last year? And we lost first round to TCU, but we were in. Does that make the list?
I feel like that was a great game. Number 1 at home. Duke had never lost to an unranked team when they were ranked first at home, and they lost. That needs to be up there.
Is that a 5th seed?
You could do that at 5. You could do the 6 overtime at 4.
we have to remember that we have the Virginia game.
And
we have the Clemson game.
Yep.
We got Jerry. We still haven't put Jerry McNamara. The Big East run?
Boom.
Lacrosse isn't in there yet.
Lacrosse is done. Lacrosse is in there.
No, I did not. I took it out because we we said put it higher.
We need more regions.
So that's 4.
So wait.
All right, hold on. You got to have the Clemson game.
Yep. I feel like that might be number 1. Because we have a lot of basketball. So I feel like the one football has to be high. I feel like that might be number 1.
Over GMAC? That's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. That 2006 run's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he put that team on the
I don't really remember it, to be honest.
I know, but you watched it, though.
It's tough because it's all subjective, right? Because you got national championships that we're talking about as far as lacrosse goes, right?
Well, okay, Gio,
let's talk about Clemson. That football game is probably the biggest win in how long?
Yeah, and I was there, too. So that's why I'm biased to that. 1, I didn't see this GMAC run. The Virginia game was awesome, and I feel like that's my 2. But we didn't win a national championship. Yeah, we went to the Final Four. But that Clemson football game, I mean, being in the Dome, there was nothing like it. This field storming and everything, it was crazy.
Yeah.
See, again, it goes back to perspective because, growing up in the 90s, I got to see a bunch of awesome football games. The game we lost against Tennessee. And that environment, I think, was better than the Clemson game. Don't get me wrong, the Clemson game was amazing, but Tennessee won the national title that year. That game was incredible.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's do this. Run us just through quickly from 16.
All right, 16 we got Cuse, Michigan State upset as an 11 seed. We took down a 3 seed to go to the Sweet 16 and play Duke. 15 we got John Gillen's 43 points. 14 we got Dino Babers higher. 13, we got the 2013 Final Four run. 12, we got Johnny Flynn's posterizer. Then 11, we have the 10-win football season for 2018.
All right, wait, hold on. What? I'm trying to figure. All right, go on. What's 9?
Then 10, you have GMAC overrated the press conference. Then you have the Ennis shot versus Pitt, Gillen versus Duke, buzzer beater, CJ Fair charge/ejection as 7, 2014 Duke at 6. I feel like these games are higher than that upset at Duke, but at the same time, they had Zion. Did Zion play that game?
No, Zion was out.
Zion was out.
No, he played that game.
Yeah, he played that game and he didn't play at the Dome.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Oh, so actually that makes it even,
I think that needs to be on there. That's historic. Duke no one may ever do that again as an unranked team if Duke is ranked first. That's a very,
I say that's a 5. Let's put it at 5 because we'll still have, let's say we go 4, we go lacrosse championship.
We could do a play-in game.
We could do a play. All right, so 5, we're going, what was that, 2019? Or was that, right?
What's that?
That was 2019? Was last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Or was
it was 18-19.
2018/2019.
Yep.
At number 1, Duke.
Yep.
Zion. Okay. And then
that was the one where Trey Jones went out in the beginning of that game.
Yeah.
He got injured his hand.
Yep. All right, so your 4 is that we won the Big East championship in 06, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that I feel like that might be higher than a 4. Why don't we go lacrosse 4?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Yep.
2009.
Lacrosse getting the props out there. I like that.
Yeah.
Because, it's back-to-back championships. And, guys, not for anything. They've had, 11?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
We had 12. I don't know if you guys know this. There was 12, and then they took one away because there was some kind of scandal type thing. And this is the craziest part about it. When the NCAA said, where's the trophy? The trophy was gone. And the trophy's never been found. Some people say it's buried under the dome, which sounds ridiculous.
Well, that's like Jimmy Hoffa being buried under Giant Stadium.
Right. But they did a ESPN show about it, not a 30 for 30, but a 30 for 30 short that they've never found the trophy. And Syracuse lacrosse got a national championship taken away in the Gate Brothers. It was the 1990 championship.
Was Desco was there, right?
That was Desco was an assistant.
No?
So that was Roy Simmons Jr. was the head coach.
Okay.
I'm hoping I go to like a garage sale in Camillus and like it's just there randomly.
That'd be
Good.
good.
Just clean out a garage. There's just this trophy. Yeah, who cares?
That's where it would be too. In Camillus.
$20.
$20.
That'll be awesome.
Okay, so 3, 2, and 1 should be kind of easy. We got the UVA comeback.
Yeah.
We got the 2006 run.
And we got the Clemson football game.
We got the Clemson football game. So that's it.
Yeah.
So how do we do it?
I say football's number one. We don't have a lot of football on this list either.
The 2006 run was amazing to me. I would put that at number 1. I understand Gio's point of view.
That's fair. I did not see it. Do you guys all agree? If you guys all agree, we'll put GMAC number 1 in that run.
I think you got to put GMAC number 1.
Joey?
I'll agree to disagree.
With what?
What do you got?
You got the Clemson game?
I mean, yeah, I do.
Oh, now we have a 2-2 split. We're flipping a coin, boys.
All right, flip a coin. You got one?
I have this. Yeah, I have this 100 years Syracuse lacrosse.
Okay. Brilliant.
They
Take
gave
it out of
these
the case. Take it out of the case. Don't scratch
Seriously.
it. Don't damage it.
Does it come out?
He flips it. It just
Does it come out?
Yeah, it does. It does. I swear. They gave these out like the first game of the 100 years, but yeah, that's not coming out. Anybody got a coin?
No, I don't.
Nobody.
See if we can find something.
Come on, Tony. Come through.
Nobody has a coin.
I can't believe how unprepared you are, Giovanni. How come you don't have a coin?
Listen, you know how prepared I was for that Devo interview this morning?
Hell, I need a
That's
coin.
what I spent all day doing.
Well, it's worth it. It's worth it. We're no
All
Devendorfs.
day. I was up till like 3 last night writing questions, thinking of questions. You guys got to check it out. There's cool. He tells a couple really cool stories about how he was actually committed to Michigan State.
I saw that clip.
And then in 2003, we played them at Michigan State. And he was like, dude, who is this Syracuse team? Started catching on to them. Then we started to recruit him. And he wanted to come to Syracuse because of the way that they played. And
they were ranked high too,
State.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we beat him on the road that year. We won the Natty. So.
Oh yeah, we beat him.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
So he told some really cool stories. So
He was a McDonald All-American.
Yeah, he was out of Oak Hill too. Same place,
Yep.
Mello. He was telling me, and I was surprised about this. He was on the same Oak Hill team as Kevin Durant. They were teammates.
Damn.
In high school. Crazy. All right, you got a coin?
Yep.
All right, so heads is the Clemson game. Tails is the
Clemson
Duke game. Or not the Duke game, the Jerry
That was the
McNamara
Duke one.
2006
So
run.
we got to know the rules. Are you just flipping it and letting it hit the ground? Are you going
We'll flip it, catch it, flip it on my.
Okay, old school. All right, let's do it.
All right.
What if you drop it?
I dropped it. I'm tired. My bad. I didn't see it. All right.
Redo.
Redo.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Wait, what is
Sorry.
heads? Heads is the Clemson
pressure.
game. Okay.
Tony, I love that. Go. Okay.
We got it. I didn't see
Okay.
it.
All right.
Heads, Clemson, tails, GMAC.
Yeah.
We got tails, GMAC.
Okay, Joe.
All right.
right.
Clemson's
So-
two.
I'll leave that coin
GMAC.
the next time we do one of these.
So GMAC 2006, Big East run 2017. Clemson is 2, and that leaves the 2016 UVA number 1 seed.
The
Come
game
back.
that created maybe the greatest meme of all time. That kid on
Yes.
the bench for UVA.
Oh,
Where did
yes.
we go?
That's
Malachi Richardson.
the
he
greatest
went
meme
off.
too because it switched from one side to the other
Yeah.
in
That
the
was
span
awesome.
of like 8 minutes.
Well, we
Malachi
did it.
was just unconscious.
I mean, what was it? 20 points in the second half. What was it?
Dude, he was getting guarded by Malcolm Brogdon, who's the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, who's a pretty legit starter in the NBA right now, like known for his defense.
That was so much fun too. I'm at Rosie's watching. You could feel it building, almost like an avalanche. Like that snowball's just getting bigger and bigger down the hill. They start chipping away at it, and like they finally get the lead, and the whole place just explodes.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I thought it was
awesome.
over. I mean, you think it's over?
Yeah.
They come out of the half and do that. It's like, do you remember back? This goes
Rosie's is a good environment.
back
It
a
was
little
awesome until it got super sketchy. Like when they started hiring a bunch
like
of big,
trouble.
big steroid up guards and patting you down. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this place. That's probably why they closed.
You remember when Villanova took a 20-0 lead on us to start a game one time?
Oh, yes. That was another one, too. Nova was a big rival for us. I love Villanova.
That happened in the 2003 championship run when we played, was it Oklahoma or Oklahoma State?
Yeah, went to the press.
Yeah, and then they were up 17 in the first half.
That was such a good run.
Yeah, they had Tony Allen.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, this is our list. 16 Syracuse versus Michigan State in the 2018 NCAA tournament. That's when 11 seed took down a 3 seed. And 15, we have John Gillen, 43 points on the road at North Carolina, including a buzzer beater. 14, Dino Babers being hired. 13, 2013 Final Four run. 12, Johnny Flynn's posterizer at Rutgers. 11, 10-win season for Syracuse football in 2018. 10, Jerry McNamara overrated press conference. 9, Tyler Ennis shot at Pitt to go 25, or was it 21-0 at that point, and stay number 1. 8, John Gillen beating Duke with the buzzer beater. 7, CJ Fair charge and Boeheim ejection. 6, 2014 Duke at the Dome. 5, 2018, 2019 at number 1 Duke with the Zion team and everything. 4, 2009 lacrosse wins the national championship in an overtime comeback fashion. Back-to-back national championships for Cuse Lax. 3, 2016 Virginia, number 1 seed. We just talked about it to go to the Final Four. 2, 2017 Clemson game in the Dome. And number 1 GMAC 2006 Big East run. Sean's going to put this up on Twitter, and I will be sure to retweet it.
No one else has done this. Tony thought about doing this. He tried to get something together.
It's still going to happen. I'm going to need your guys' help, though. I'm thinking we do 4 regions, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010 to present.
Okay.
Hit me up for that. Yeah, we should get Zuba on for that, too. He likes this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the poor Zubes, he's going crazy.
He hit me on Twitter.
Did he?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I know that guy.
I love James. He's great.
James seems like a good dude. I love piling on when he makes fun of you.
He is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I'll read a text sometimes and laugh, but his texts or his tweets, he's so dry and hilarious. Like, did you see his video? His basketball work.
Oh yeah. Just pounding in his apartment, probably pissing off his neighbor.
Yeah, he didn't have a downstairs neighbor. He is on the first floor, I found out. But I mean, the guy's he's a good dude. He's hilarious, and his stuff is brilliant. Like he writes good stuff. So, what
I love about the Cuse Twitter community we have now. Like, meeting so many just fun people and just
it's been awesome. Orange. It's really, I mean, you guys just plugged me into it, but I was actually thinking about saying that on the show, how cool the Twitter community has really come together. I didn't realize how many Cuse fans are actually out there. I mean, there's so many pages that you have no idea what the person is, and it's just Cuse stuff.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
It's always weird meeting people in real life, too. Like at the Dome, people come up to me all the time and hey, man, you got into that argument with that guy, and you were ripping him apart, and it was hilarious. And I'm like, all right, well, you got to narrow it down, number 1, because that happens all the time. And then, 2, I don't know what you look like. You use an avatar. My photo's me.
Right.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I just love talking Cuse with everybody.
With Joe, and Joe is not huge on the Twitter, but we've met so many really good people, really genuine people just through doing the show and starting this and kind of.
That's how we met.
Yeah, it's how we met. It's how I met Tony. I mean, it's been great, and it's every once in a while you get a new flux of followers, whether it be Twitter or Facebook. And I just couldn't be more thankful, man. I wish I was closer to everybody. One of these days we'll have to do a tweet up, man. We'll have to, when Joe and I are in town together, which is a rarity too.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you guys how I found your podcast? I literally just went on my Podcast Addict app and I just typed in Syracuse and I just saw Cuse Militia and just listened. I was like,
me too. Same exact thing. Yeah. I literally typed in Syracuse podcast.
Well, that's good.
I like what you guys had to say. They seem down to earth. You got to make it fun too. Don't make it just X's and O's.
Exactly.
No, see, well, look, and I'll be straight up with you. I mean, everybody knows my role. I host the show.
Joe.
I add my opinion. Joe's wildly smart. I have said a number of times he missed his calling. He knows exactly what he's talking about. I text Joe all the time questions about this, that, or the other, and he just compliments, me hosting the show. Joe could never host the show, and I could never be the analyst. Okay?
And it's the perfect team. So speaking of that, and this is the question I asked before we got on the air, how'd you guys get it together? What happened?
Well,
are we saving that for a Cuse Militia episode?
So, yes. We will save that for a Cuse Militia episode when we have Giovanni back some other time. This episode was much too long anyway, and we'll spare you we don't want the Cuse Militia birth for now.
We'll use that as a filler when we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Exactly. But I want to thank everybody for listening. Remember to go.
It's really not that great.
It's really not like something fantastic, but it's cool though. It's kind of nice. But a little bit.
All in the eye of the beholder, right?
Sure. And well, of course, I'm a little biased. Yeah. So, it's our baby, Joe. Joe and I had a baby. It's the Cuse Militia. So anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. So that's it. That's all we got. Look, I want to thank Giovanni. I want to thank at Cuse Waterboy Tony. I want to thank all of you for listening, obviously. So for Gio, for Tony, for Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.